Friday night. That means it's time for the Don Tony Show.
You've waited all week, and now it's finally here. Get Don Tony's perspective on current affairs in the world of pro wrestling and beyond.
And now, your host, the man, the legend, Don Tony.
It's been a bit kind of crazy the last 7 days. Good evening, everybody. Let's get right into it because this show is going to be a short one. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I have to wake up, get an Uber at 6, go to the airport, and as I've been telling you for, the last week or so, I will be going on vacation. Last week, I was a little busy, getting married. I think everything turned out pretty cool. I want to thank all of you out there for all of your love, everything. And here, someone wanted an extra picture, so there you go. That is us last Saturday. Had a good time. Had a real good time. So now, I'm going to go away for 8 days. I'll be back by the 19th. Maybe I'll surprise everyone with a little live stream next week. And we'll see what happens Tuesday night because I am going to NXT. Somebody within WWE came through, and I will be going to NXT. No promises that the Don gets to maybe share a little cappuccino with the Don of NXT. We'll see what happens. Can't make any promises. Things are quite hectic over there. They're a little strict as far as having guests, and I'm not going there as media. I'm going there as somebody on vacation having a honeymoon, but I am going to NXT. You will see me wearing the I'm a Don Tony guy shirt. And the missus will be wearing the I'm a Don Tony girl shirt. So if you see a pair of shirts, that'll be us. We will be sitting front row. That I will tell you. Yeah, we'll be on TV. Absolutely. But 1 year anniversary, NXT. And you know what? I want to share something with you since we're on the topic of NXT. You think I'm making it up? Do your research. NXT this week drew 684,000, slightly up from last week. Now, we recently had the Worlds Collide Premium Live event. We had some pretty big NXTs in recent weeks. Get a load of this. If you think I'm lying, do the research. I'm not going to do it for you. Sometimes I will, but sometimes you got to do it yourself. Do you know? You can't just go 1 week, 2 weeks. Over the last 6 weeks of NXT, I think 6 weeks is a fair amount of time. In the last 6 weeks of NXT, their ratings have exceeded not only 2021, but it is on the same level of 2020. When it was the black and gold, when you still had the Undisputed Era and you had Keith Lee and Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, and others, go look it up. You think I'm wrong. Yeah, it is on those levels. Nobody will tell you that because at the end of the day, they will only push what they want to push. And speaking of favoritism, biased media, we're not really going to talk tonight at all about CM Punk, about the EVPs, about everything that went down because we got into it. We actually beat it to death this week. I think you realize now what I said 6 days ago is coming to roost. I said in a very short amount of time, you're going to see your internet darlings go hard on CM Punk like no other. And over the last 2-3 days, I'm not going to name any names, suddenly the EVPs can do no wrong. CM Punk is a cancer CM Punk is selfish. CM Punk is only out for himself. CM Punk is CM Punk. Tell me what he did now. What? He got fed up at the bullshit news? All the Colt Cabana. I don't want to be bothered with Colt anymore. Stop bringing it. You see the last 2 days? Let me just summarize it like this. Like I said a week ago, you look at the Triple H scrum from Clash at the Castle, and you look at the AEW scrum from All Out, and that's all you need to know about both companies right now. One is about, professionalism versus paranoia, having fun, entertaining the fans, everybody out to entertain themselves. I'll add one to it. The EVPs, I like that better. The EVPs, Executive Vice President, EVPs, they're going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Their suspensions are only, from what I was told, 30 days. Yeah, we actually reported Wednesday that CM Punk was suspended before everyone else, but, of course, no one's going to acknowledge it. Their suspensions are only about a month, from what I was told. Now, you think about this. There's rumors that CM Punk tore his tricep. He may be out of action 7-8 months. And at his age, and now 2 major injuries in a row, it gets very frustrating very, very quickly. Is it worth it? And you see CM Punk, he ain't going to WWE. Think WWE wants him back? As much as having him there as a big this, he ain't Cody Rhodes, and WWE's more about that professionalism. So, like I said a couple of days ago, I think CM Punk's best chance is going to WOW. He probably has a better chance to go to Women of Wrestling right now than anything else. But I'll say this. With CM Punk, if the torn tricep is true, if CM Punk not returning for 6-7 months, or maybe never returns ever again, but the EVPs are returning in 2 to 3 weeks. If you're the news media online, if you're one of those pigeons that's begging for the EVP crumbs, begging for any crumbs, whose side you going to take? Are you going to take Punks, who may never step in an AEW ring ever again? Or are you going to take the EVPs, which will be back in action in 2 to 3 weeks? You could see right through these people. You see, remember I said a week ago, you watch Thunder Rosa. They're going to keep beating that Thunder Rosa shit to try to get hits. Brad Shepard, that goof, fucked up. And now everybody runs with it. You know it's not true. So why are you still putting it out there? And the last comment tonight about Punk and AEW. We don't have to talk about it anymore tonight. One last comment. Remember this going forward. Any website, any podcast, any blogger, anyone out there that makes a claim about someone, especially within AEW, a claim that smells fishy, that sounds fishy. Take note, if you read anywhere, we reached out to Thunder Rosa to verify this story, and she refused comment. We attempted to contact CM Punk, but he did not respond to our email. We reached out to blah, blah, blah for a statement, and that person did not respond. Do you ever see any of them ever doing that? When you see that absent, you know they didn't fucking do their diligence, because all they want is for you to click on their shit no matter what. We will talk about Bobby Fish, Benjamin. Yes, we could talk about Bobby Fish. Hey, Bobby! Hey, Bobby! Shut the fuck up. I know you're trying to get more money to come back to AEW and your elite darlings are all there. Shut up. Bobby Fish could kick my ass, everyone. I like Bobby Fish. Anybody that follows the show knows, shut the fuck up. He called CM Punk a cunt. I'll read you his comments in a few minutes. But for tonight, let's spend some time on WWE a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about Sasha Banks and Naomi. It's great. People are only starting to figure it out now. Guys, gals, remember about 6 weeks ago when we started talking like, how come Sasha and Naomi are showing up everywhere? They're not lovers. They're not sisters from other misters. They're good friends. But with all due respect, nothing against Naomi, nothing against Sasha. Why are they everywhere Sasha needs to be booked? You must include Naomi as well. You think the modeling world gives a fuck that Sasha and Naomi gave belts back to John Laurinaitis and walked out? Why is everybody that's booking Sasha booking Naomi also? Even a Yankee game, they're shown together. Everywhere they go, they're shown together. Everywhere. We started talking about that 6 or 7 weeks ago. You check out all the feedback from this week in that modeling, that New York modeling thing that they did, that they appeared at, and I got some footage for all of you. What I noticed about social media now is people are starting to say, wait a minute, why is Sasha and Naomi showing up together everywhere? Seriously, think about it. People are even turning around and saying, Sasha should be there with her husband. He doesn't have to be on camera, but why are they together everywhere? Seriously. So people are starting to pick up on that. But if you're not aware, okay, they were in New York City for New York Fashion Week. And believe it or not, Sasha Banks walked, was it the runway? It's the runway, right? And no, not just her. Naomi walked the runway as well. Now, I see a super chat came in moments ago about Sasha and Naomi, and I will answer it. But that is from this week. And somebody posted footage of the ending of the whole modeling session. Now, this is only a few seconds, but if you want to see the closing moments, it's kind of odd. I could see if we saw other athletes there, or maybe some actresses and actors, but check out Sasha and Naomi surrounded by others walking this runway. Check it out. There's Sasha. There you go. She's not holding the ball from the Yankee game. All right, let's see. Here comes Naomi. All right, wait. We got to pause it because if you have it playing for a few extra seconds, you say, there she is. There she is. They look awesome. Let me make this clear. Sasha and Naomi are model material. I'm not criticizing that at all. But why are they showing up everywhere? You don't think if they were well beyond WWE that at some point, Naomi, you got to go home. Sasha, you got to go home. Why are they together? Then it's not like they're singers, that they're a duet. So now they appear everywhere. Why are they still together? Chaos, it's not about the money. It's not just about the money, because let me honestly ask you something. This is no disrespect to Naomi. And believe me, I thought about this, and I thought in the past, should I even say something like this? But I think people are smart enough to know there is no angst or malice on my part. If I'm a convention, if I'm a modeling place, if I'm a movie place, if I'm some form of entertainment, ask me why Naomi would have as much value as Sasha Banks. Why would she remotely have any? Because she was a professional wrestler? If you're going to say to me, well, she's becoming an actress, she models, she this, she that, okay, then I get it. Naomi is a former professional wrestler. I know she danced. I know funk is on a roll. But the value is in Sasha Banks more than anything else. I don't think any extra people went to that because Naomi was there. C2E2 is different. But, all right, someone is asking me. I must answer it. You bribed me. So I gotta answer it. And I'm going to tell you my honest answer. Lascelles Williams with the 20 spot. DT got to get you on the record. Yes or no? Does Sasha and Naomi return to WWE before WrestleMania? I appreciate the super chat, but you should already know that answer. They absolutely are returning. I personally think this is the reason why Sasha and Naomi are being booked together over and over and over and over again, because they're going to return to WWE, and WWE does have value in the sports world, in the entertainment world. You see wrestlers throwing out the first pitch. You see them showing up on talk shows. You see them showing up for the red carpets. WWE has tremendous value. It's just these companies are going along with the program. Look, we did not return to WWE yet, so we can't, please, you cannot mention that we are, whatever it is, they are absolutely returning to WWE. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I am 1,000% sure of it. I have no news sources to back it up. All of these goofs online that have making these claims for the last couple of months, they look, it's a 50-50 shot. If you're in the news world, you got a 50-50 shot. And honestly, you got like a 75-25 shot of getting it right. Now, I know what someone's going to say right now, DT, wait a minute. It's either yes or no. How could it be 75% right or 25? Because if someone says early on, breaking news, Sasha and Naomi are returning. We don't know when, but they are returning. Even if they end up not returning, whatever schmuck that threw that out there could turn around and say, oh, things broke down. Unfortunately, there was some issues, and unfortunately, the deal blew up. You think Sasha and Naomi are going to go on the social media and call him out as a liar? You think they're going to do a media scrum and say how many people in this room are journalists? They're not going to say a fucking word because they don't care. They don't care. They know what the deal is. That's why even Thunder Rosa didn't even call out this blimp and all these people out there that are spreading this shit, because she's fed up with it. She went on Busted Open and said, please, everyone, if you have a question, reach out to me. And these motherfuckers still didn't do it. So, yes, they are returning. And them showing up together is going to keep Sasha and Naomi in lights together. Scissor me. That is why they are still showing up together. Because if Sasha starts doing things on her own, Naomi's name is not out there as much. And people start thinking, oh, maybe Sasha is going to just stay away from wrestling. And when is Naomi going to return and form the bloodline? Join the bloodline. So keeping them together, that is because they're returning to WWE. I'm telling you. I could look again. I'm not reporting news. I feel it. You look at it, it makes sense. Just like all that TV 14 nonsense back then. All you had to do is look at common sense, and you would have known that there was no way TV 14 was returning at that time. There was so many chains of command that had to clear it first. But none of these people waste their time to understand how a corporate, publicly traded company that is the answer to advertisers and investors and stockholders, which is the same thing, I guess. They don't even bother to understand, wait, they can't just suddenly go TV 14. The advertisers have to approve it. The stockholders need to be aware of it, because your advertising revenue, the game changes quite differently. Nobody bothered. All you had to do is use common sense. You would have figured that out before it ever happened. So, yes, they are returning. They are returning. Yes, I believe it's before WrestleMania. The women's tag team division right now, with all due respect, I like Sky and Kai, but they're not the answer. You can't have the division the way it is. In fact, I have this strange feeling, barring a clusterfuck on Monday, I think Sky and Kai could very well possibly get those tag titles Monday. Now, tonight on SmackDown, we had the return of Lacey Evans. We talked about her a week ago. Lacey Evans, remember what I said a week ago? She's not injured. She's ready to return. They're just waiting for the spot to put her in. Tonight, they found that spot. Tonight's SmackDown was about a few things. Obviously, as we've been talking about, it was to hype up the SmackDown return of Braun Strowman. He came back. Alpha Academy made a little cameo on SmackDown based on what happened on Raw this past Monday. No match, but Braun Strowman basically destroys Chad Gable after Chad Gable destroyed the Seattle fans, getting some tremendous heel heat. Chad Gable's awesome, man. Chad Gable is fucking entertaining. He's got it. And I'm so happy. Look, they're not getting tag gold anytime soon. They're not going to get a streak of wins anytime soon. But he fits. He belongs. You know, even Otis tweaking his look. Now he's growing the scruff again. He doesn't look like, like a big, fat, bald penis, or bald, swollen testicle for a head. They just fit. And he gets tremendous heel heat. And here comes Braun. And Braun basically destroys both of them, choke slams Otis. So fine. And this coming Monday, we're going to see the rematch from this past Monday. They took the scenic route again, everyone. Last week we were supposed to determine new number one contenders for the Usos titles, and they take the scenic route. Match gets thrown out. Remember Drew was supposed to have that number one contenders match with Sheamus, and then it didn't happen. I got the COVID. All they did was they milked it for 2-3 extra weeks because it's a little too far away. Last week, it would have been 5 weeks before Extreme Rules. So they bought an extra week out of it. And who knows, Monday you might end up with another clusterfuck. I just don't know if I want the Street Profits to be that team to get it again. Because in my opinion, it felt like Street Profits had their shot at SummerSlam. WWE did not pull that trigger. Now it doesn't feel like there's this worth. I almost feel like I'd rather see Street Profits feud with Hit Row. I think Hit Row have to turn heel. By the way, I was thinking about this. Everybody talks about Swerve Strickland now because he's in AEW and Hit Row's back in WWE. The two tag teams are kind of similar. You look at Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee and his size, and then you look at Hit Row in the WWE, Ashante Adonis and Top Dollar. I think, look, obviously, AJ Francis is still very new in pro wrestling. I think that'd be a pretty interesting match to have Strickland and Lee versus Adonis and Top Dollar. I think it would be pretty cool. By the way, thank you, Marquez Frazier. He's at SmackDown right now. The Usos and the Street Profits had a dark match tonight after SmackDown went off the air, and the Usos won. Very, very cool. So Braun Strowman made his return tonight. As I said moments ago, Lacey Evans also made a return. We had a fatal five-way tonight to determine the new number one contender for Liv Morgan's championship. And no surprise, we expected it. Ronda Rousey gets the win. Natty eliminated very early. Xia Li, Lacey Evans eliminated fairly quickly. Ronda Rousey makes Sonya Deville tap. No Shayna Baszler tonight, by the way, but Ronda Rousey will now be taking on Liv Morgan at Extreme Rules for that championship. Charlotte Flair is this close of returning. Could Charlotte Flair show up at Extreme Rules? It's possible. It's possible. She could show up possibly even before that. But Charlotte Flair is on the cusp of returning. Personally, I think she might be needed more on Raw. I know some people may think I'm crazy for saying that, but, you got Ronda, Shayna, Charlotte on the same brand. It feels like, especially with Ronda and Charlotte, it feels like it'll just be a rotating deal. If Ronda wins at Extreme Rules, who does she feud with? Yeah, she may actually feud with Charlotte Flair all over again. I don't know how many people really would want to see that. And look, if you think that that's not a possibility, you're like, oh, no, WWE would not. Remember, they did Roman and Brock after the biggest WrestleMania match in history. They fucking did it again. When we thought it was not happening again, we got it again. I mean, obviously, they crushed it at SummerSlam. It was amazing. But yeah, Ronda versus Charlotte, not out of the question. Also tonight, Solo Sikoa joins the Bloodline. And as I wrote in the synopsis early this morning, the clowning of Sami Zayn continues. And the clowning was really amped up tonight. I mean, we know Sami, the whole storyline. He thinks he's a member of the Bloodline, and he tries to talk like the Usos, act like the Usos. But tonight, it was in clown territory that Sami Zayn, even though, look, we're entertained. We're fans of Sami Zayn. He's killing it. But in the storyline, he's getting clowned. And now with Solo Sikoa joining that Bloodline, it is a matter of weeks that Sami Zayn is going to get the shit knocked out of him, and he's going to get out of there. It doesn't matter how many bullets that he takes, because tonight he did it again. Drew McIntyre shows up, and he goes to chair bash Solo Sikoa. Sami puts his body out there, and he takes the shot. But still, it doesn't matter how many times he does that. They're using Sami Zayn. Oh, you think, yeah, good. You can hang out as long as you keep doing that. Look, as I said Monday, I did not want to see Solo Sikoa versus Drew McIntyre tonight. We had a feeling that that was going to be the SmackDown match tonight. And Drew McIntyre, as I wrote this morning, he's going to be taking some time off to rest and heal some injuries. I know that'll become a news story somewhere else later this weekend, but I wanted to post it this morning. Drew is going to be taking time off. Now, they had that match tonight, and it ended up in a DQ because Karrion Kross shows up, chokes out Drew, and they could very well have a match at Extreme Rules. Drew will not wrestle every week between now and Extreme Rules. You know, he'll still be performing, but not as hot and heavy as he's been leading up to the match with Roman Reigns. But I tell you, you know, as much as everybody has been praising Triple H and creative and this and that, I think that they really sent some mixed messages with Karrion Kross. I know they tried to repair some of it last week with the black smelly roses to Sami Zayn and the TikTok message, kind of like to Roman Reigns. Karrion Kross seems too focused on Drew McIntyre and not so much on Roman Reigns. And I know Solo Sikoa showing up at Clash at the Castle was necessary to make the storyline make sense and join the Bloodline. But it should have been Karrion Kross to cause the loss to Drew McIntyre, especially because of what's been going down. Now, look, Solo Sikoa got some great heat tonight. When he came out originally, he got some great heat. Or what they could have done was they should have had Karrion Kross choke out Drew McIntyre at the end of Clash at the Castle. I know they didn't want to do that. They wanted everybody to give Drew a round of a standing ovation after the cameras went off the air. But they should have handled it a little bit differently with Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre, in my opinion. It felt way too one-sided with Kross and Drew. But look, I'm very, very happy for Solo Sikoa. Guy fits in. My only problem is what I said on Monday. Every time I hear Michael Cole say, that's the Usos' younger brother, I can't get Ezekiel out of my mind. Everything with the younger brother, Elias's younger brother, younger brother, younger brother. Every time I hear that about the Usos, I think of Ezekiel, even though we probably will not see Ezekiel back. So, awesome opener for SmackDown tonight. Imperium. Loved it. Vinci looks like a pig in shit. He is ecstatic. I love Imperium back. WWE doing more trios teams. I don't care if you want to say, hey, they took a little page from AEW, so what? And even if you're going to say something stupid like that, Imperium was a trio in NXT, you know, way before trios titles were even considered in AEW. Imperium were a trio. You know, Giovanni Vinci, you know, when he first came in as that character instead of Marcel Barthel, I thought he looked like a Cesaro ripoff. Thank God when he came out tonight, we had this instead of this. The posing in NXT, that was awful, man. No showing up in fancy cars, nice car. No, Imperium. That's all he had to do. Sheamus with 25 forearms to Ludwig Kaiser. I'm doing this light right now, and this shit hurts. 25 to Ludwig Kaiser. That is crazy. Sheamus is so incredibly over because the fans respect. They see it. They have noticed. That guy, especially in the last 2+ years during COVID, has put on some of the best televised matches in wrestling, period. You don't have to do flippy off the Empire State Building. You don't have to have 5-star matches. You just need to work hard, put the effort in there. Fans take notice of it. They are fucking popping for Sheamus big time right now. It's a little weird to hear the fans popping for Ridge Holland. I got to be honest with you. Accidents happen. And Big E, obviously wouldn't want the fans to fucking destroy this guy's career. But it is a little awkward for Ridge Holland to get the cheers. Doesn't get him like Sheamus, but he does get some by default. And Butch is Butch. They're letting him be more of his wrestling self. Calling him Pete Dunne again, I'm not sure if that happens. But excellent match tonight. Went about 25 minutes. Imperial Bomb by Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci to Ridge Holland to get the win. Spectacular. Loved every minute of it. And the crowd was into it as well. They really killed it to open up SmackDown. Toxic Attraction made a cameo. They lost to Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. Obviously, we don't have many regular tag teams for the women's division on the main roster that can eat losses. That's kind of the reason why we had Toxic Attraction on there tonight. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah are going to have those titles all that long. Makes you wonder why they just didn't give it to Kai and Sky in the first place. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, look, obviously we all appreciate Raquel Rodriguez. She is obviously a future megastar. And Aaliyah, she works hard, but it just felt it's a little too soon. I mean, if people were questioning Liv Morgan to get her SmackDown Women's Championship, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah certainly were not ready, in my opinion. So, one other match that we had tonight, Hit Row and the Street Profits defeating Los Lotarios and the Maximum Male Models. We had Hit Row put the heavy hitter on Mansoor for the win. We had, some more teasing that Maxine Dupree might end up with Los Lotarios. I think that is very much a possibility. I think Hit Row will get a turn heel. I think eventually Hit Row turns heel. Crowd is into them. But like I said, I'm not into hip hop of today. I'm into the classic stuff. And I'm not a connoisseur of music. But I consider myself kind of attuned to vibe. And to me, Hit Row, it doesn't have that feel good, like energy, happy. It feels militant, feels angry. Even if you look, even when the Street Profits came out, Hit Row, and I know nobody really paid attention to this, but I did. Hit Row, they're on the ring apron, and the Street Profits music is playing. Now, if you listen to the Street Profits music, everybody's, oh, yeah, whatever. And you look at Hit Row, and they're doing their dance based on their music. And believe me, their music, the feel, the vibe is a lot different than what the Street Profits music is. I think Hit Row eventually are going to turn heel. And I know you're going to say, well, we got Maximum Male Models and we got Los Lotarios. That would be heel heavy. I don't know if Maximum Male Models and Los Lotarios are really going to go that far in the tag team division as heels. So I think Hit Row needs a little bit of an attitude change, in my opinion. So, and as I told you earlier, Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa, disqualification, Karrion Kross chokes him out to close out SmackDown. And yeah, it'll lead to Extreme Rules. Now the question is, who does Roman Reigns face next? Who's he face next? Are we even going to get Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules? It's not a guarantee. I would think that would probably be an easier event to have him have a match, but it's not guaranteed that he's getting a match there. I think we may end up getting Drew and Karrion Kross at Extreme Rules, which is a match we've talked about already. Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan is a lock. And then we're going to find out in another tag team for the Usos. We'll see what happens. So, and then we're getting closer to Halloween, everyone. A lot of people think that Bray Wyatt's going to return around Halloween. And I think that's because everybody is basing it on his Fiend character. I don't think Bray Wyatt is returning as the Fiend. I don't think people, we got to do a poll. When I come back, we'll do a poll. Which variation of Bray Wyatt do you want? And I bet you a lot of people would probably want a hybrid of when he used to come out with the Wyatt family. I think a hybrid of that. When he used to have the lantern, I'd like to see a hybrid of that character. I don't think we need the monster. I don't think we need that anymore. So, plus Bray Wyatt is so goddamn good on the mic. Yes, I know he would do Fiend and he'd wear, Mr. Rogers sweater. We would go back and forth. Colt Bray Wyatt, I think, was his best. That's what sold me on Bray Wyatt. So, all right. Like I told you, we're going to do this show a little bit quicker because, like I said, I got to get up at 5 a.m. And you know me, I do not like flying. I am very scared of flying. I have Valiums ready at the helm, and I will pop one about an hour before I get on the plane. I'll pop one while I'm on the plane. And, my plane leaves very early Saturday morning. But just pay attention to my social media, at Don Tony D on Twitter and the YouTube. If you're a subscriber, hit the reminder, because if we have some time next week, I am going to live stream. And I'll let you all know how everything went down in NXT, because I am definitely going. It's definite. So, all right. Couple of things news-wise. Pat McAfee. If you didn't tune into SmackDown today, or you might have been not paying attention to WWE maybe the last few days, Pat McAfee is off the WWE commentary trail for the foreseeable future. No issues between McAfee and WWE, no contract problems, no ill. Fact is that ESPN, now we're going into college sports. And you realize now, especially with football, they really seeked out Pat McAfee to be an analyst, I think, to call some games as well. And Pat McAfee, obviously, about his podcast. So he will be working with ESPN's College Game Day throughout the bulk of what's left of 2022 and a small part of 2023. Now, Corey Graves, as of right now, has filled in for Pat McAfee. That may be a permanent deal, because Corey Graves, his dedication to WWE. But I also expect Pat McAfee to make a surprise appearance once in a while, even with the college sports going on. I think you will be surprised one week that Pat McAfee will be on the play-by-play for WWE, but don't expect it. You will probably get a surprise once or twice, but, it may not happen either. But, me, honestly, I enjoyed tonight's SmackDown. I didn't feel that it was pushed back a few notches because Pat McAfee wasn't on commentary. Of course, he's missed. But I know a lot of people wanted to see Triple H on commentary. That one night, with the COVID stuff and everything, when they were in the empty building, that was fun and everything, but I don't want to see Triple H on commentary every week. Corey Graves, I know, gets under people's skin, but Corey Graves works well with Michael Cole as well. And Corey Graves, he actually, I think, enhances a lot of the wrestlers that he wants to enhance. So Cress says bring in Nigel McGuinness. You know what? I think for regular, casual, everyday WWE wrestling fans, Nigel McGuinness would just sound like some foreign guy on play-by-play. Don't get me wrong. I did pay attention to his NXT work, and he was great. In fact, I actually, a lot of people forget, that he was actually doing some work in the States before Wade Barrett came back. But I'd be fine with Wade Barrett. I think Wade Barrett would be freaking spectacular doing SmackDown. I love Wade Barrett's commentating work. That guy is just made for it. I mean, it's a shame that his in-ring career has ended as early as it has. And look, never say never getting back in the ring. But Stu Bennett is tremendous on the mic. I love Wade Barrett on the commentary. In fact, I got to, you know what? I'm not kidding. I'm going to drop this rep at WWE an email tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to say, look, any chance of getting, a seat right behind Barrett, the commentary team. So definitely would love to say hello to Vic Joseph. Anyway, it's Patreon knows why I say that. So shout out to that certain individual as well. You know who you are. So also we had a new hiring in WWE. And I love this. I got a kick out of this. We have a new EVP in WWE. A new EVP. No, it's not the Road Dogg. Oh, we have to use current wrestlers. No, it's not. Who's it's not Corbin. We don't have an active wrestler as an EVP. No, WWE seeked out the former president of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders, the former president, Dan Ventrell. This is your new EVP of WWE. And I looked for the nicest photo I could find of Dan. But if you actually look at the photos, just think Tony D'Angelo and the D'Angelo family. Just if you look and if you've never heard of Dan Ventrell and what he did with the Raiders, just do a little bit of Google searching. Now, I'm Italian, obviously. Hey, I'm Don Tony. Don Tony before the Dons were around, the original Don. This guy, to me, oozes. He could fit in this neighborhood perfectly. I could just picture like somebody going into business for themselves on TV, and I could hear him on the phone. Did you hear what this fucking cocksucker did? You believe this shit? We got to fucking call him into the office. I could see him just acting like a real paisan. Yeah, he, like I said, I looked for the nicest photo of Dan Ventrell. But if you look at the gallery of his photos, you think he came like from John Gotti's family. You look like he's from La Costa Nostra. So he's legit though. Look, the way he went out with the Raiders was not all that great. But, EVP, Dan Ventrell, EVP, Young Bucks. You see why, you gotta pay to play. And unfortunately, Tony Khan, did not have executives, plus he was not going to pay that kind of money. It's only a matter of time where the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and others are going to want, like monster money. And what I mean by that is if you go on Monster and you look at the salaries that some EVPs get for bigger entertainment outlets out there or larger companies, the money is quite big. And I could only imagine it's a matter of time where you start hearing the rumors that they're demanding bigger pay. So, but you look at the vibes and you see Dan Ventrell, I hear good things about him. I didn't know much about him before, but, from what I've looked into, he's legit. He's not one that, the wrestlers are going to dislike. In fact, you may not even hear his name all that much going forward, but that is the new EVP of WWE, Dan Ventrell. So, before we get out of here, want to get into two things. Maybe we'll pull a couple of questions for like 10 minutes, quick questions. Because I only wanted to do about an hour because, like I said, I got to get up at 5. And I'm going to be on a plane at around 7:30. And I'm not looking forward to that. Once I get to Florida, then it's different. But I'll definitely let everybody know, that I'm okay. WWE did pay little tribute tonight to Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away, 96 years old. My thoughts and prayers are everyone overseas that has really been affected by this. Look, she has been queen for, how many decades before I was even born? So obviously, I did find it funny when Corey Graves said she touched millions around the world. I'm like, this motherfucker's been queen before you even born, Corey. How's about maybe like tens of millions or maybe even more than that? But look, I saw some people that are familiar with the shows devastated, shocked. She was 96 years old. What do you think she was going to live to be? Vince McMahon lives going to be 100, 110? 96, God bless her, man. I'm hoping to live to 66. 96, awesome. Now, King Charles, I got to see how the vibe is about King Charles. So, Bash 8, I'm sorry, Bash. Bash 8 buried his aunt yesterday. She passed away. So, my condolences to you, my friend. Hopefully, the show tonight maybe lifts your spirits a little bit. But 96 years old, God bless her. Seriously, my honest, thought of Queen Elizabeth. Every time I think of Queen Elizabeth, I'm not going to lie, I think of the movie The Naked Gun because of my favorite baseball player of all time, Reggie Jackson. I must kill the Queen. I must kill the Queen. Whoops. I think I'm going to watch The Naked Gun tonight before I go to bed. Police Squad. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's on my top 10 of all time favorite movies. A lot of people to this day still don't know that there was a TV series, I think in 1981, that was Police Squad. And it was hosted by Leslie Nielsen started it. A lot of people do not realize that. And I have the TV series. I didn't think it was all that great. But Naked Gun, man, top 10. And, props to everyone in the chat sending condolences to Bash 8 for his aunt as well. Very, very respectful of some of you out there. Very cool. So I do remember NYPD Blue, Danny. I was never a real big fan of it. Thought it was okay. I got into like a little brief, phase of enjoying it, like Hill Street Blues, which was a little bit before my time. But, I got a little into it, and then I was like, nah, I got enough of it, didn't get into it. All right, let's talk for a moment about Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish did an interview, talked about CM Punk. I'm going to read you. I don't know who wrote the transcript. Somebody gave me a screenshot. Thank you, whoever wrote this up. But this is what Bobby Fish had to say. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. Steve Fall of NBC Sports. All right. He's asked why he's not a fan of CM Punk. This is what Bobby Fish said. There is no challenge because there was reports that Bobby Fish was challenging CM Punk to an MMA fight. He said, Phil is not a bad pro wrestler, but what Phil is not is a martial artist. I've been doing martial arts since I was 8 years old, so I take a lot of pride in it. It's something that I'll do until the day I die. There are other people within pro wrestling, Bryan Danielson, Kyle O'Reilly, people that train and that they put into their pro wrestling. You do that because pro wrestling is made up in a way that we get to bring a little piece of ourselves and add to it what we do because so many variables are controlled. You can paint with whatever color you want, choose a color that you have in your toolbox. If you don't have blue, you're not painting with blue. CM Punk is not a martial artist. He went on pay-per-view and showed the world he's not a martial artist. He is a pro wrestler. Go out, tackle, and drop down, leapfrog, give it again. All good. In that lane, he has talent. When it comes to martial arts, you're insulting the audience intelligence because we're supposed to be creating an atmosphere where you suspend disbelief. Yeah, as I'm reading this, I got a question, Mr. Fish. Why didn't you fucking say this 3-4 years ago? Why are you saying it now? Why? Because so many people are a little bit upset at CM Punk right now. CM Punk is not even fighting MMA anymore. Why the fuck is this coming out now? That's my initial reaction. And I purposely don't usually read quotes until I go live because I know a lot of you out there like my immediate reaction to it. I didn't want to think about it first. But with all due respect, why is this coming out now? If you were so pissed off, if you had your panties in a bunch, Mr. Fish, why didn't you fucking speak out before CM Punk got his ass kicked on pay-per-view? Why are you speaking about it now? All right, he goes on. Let me see. All good in that lane. He has talent, wrestling. When it comes to martial arts, you're insulting the audience's intelligence because it was supposed to be creating an atmosphere where you suspend your disbelief. It's insulting for you. As one of my coworkers or peers, as a martial artist, you're asking me to go out there and sell and put over your bunk-ass martial arts. It's insulting to the audience and insulting to me. Now I see why everybody loved this interview. Because all he's doing is just bashing CM Punk. Quote, I'm working for AEW. They're paying my check. You asked me to put my shoulders down for Phil Brooks. I go out and do it. This interview is ass backwards. Why is everybody gushing about this interview? Hey, Mr. Fish, why don't you call CM Punk Phil Brooks when you're talking about MMA? You're ass backwards, Mr. Fish. Which is it? You call him Phil Brooks when he's an MMA fighter. You call him CM Punk when he's a pro wrestler. Why would you? I know why. Because by him calling him by his real name, he's actually taking away his merits as a pro wrestler. Mr. Fish, you might be a good MMA guy. You might have a mustache that kind of looks like a woman's pussy that I used to date probably about 17, 18 years ago. But yeah, you're just trying to jump on this train and get a little extra payday. Maybe Tony Khan is impressed with your shit. I don't like this. All right, let's finish this up. I'm working for AEW. They're paying my check. You ask me to put my shoulders down for Phil Brooks. I go out and do it. Interestingly enough, there was a little whatever in the match we had, and Phil was, after the match, Phil was a cunt. Frankly, as a martial artist, I went out, laid my shoulders down for you. You should be grateful. Let me finish this stuff before I comment again. You should be grateful that I did, because on national TV, if I decided I wanted fucking Haku your ass, I could have, because that little of a threat in my world. I'm not John Jones or Anderson Silva, but I've been doing martial arts long enough where I can hold you like a wet nap, Phil Brooks. For you to be cunty after for a mistake you made, it doesn't wear well. Not to mention the move he finished me with is not his, it's Kenta's. Phil, you took a man's finishing move. Anyone who knows pro wrestling knows that's fucked up. You weren't even decent enough to change the name. He sounds like Rene Dupree. You sound like Rene Dupree. Who's that other guy? Alex Riley. Well, who's that guy? Alex Riley. Who's the guy with the Miz? This sounds like a bitter bitch. Bobby, you didn't say a goddamn word when CM Punk was fighting in MMA as Phil Brooks. You lose a match. He starts ripping on the EVPs and some of your friends, and you get some schmuck that wants to probably get a blue check mark. I guarantee just because it's NBC Sports doesn't mean that the person is, highly established journalist. And you vent, Alex Riley, that's his name. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bobby Fish. Can you tell? I'm a big fan, but he said, you're the one that sounds like a whiny cunt, Mr. Fish. And that little psychological thing, let me take away his wrestling man card by not calling him CM Punk. I'll call him Phil Brooks. Yeah, you might be an established, awesome MMA guy or a pro wrestler, but that doesn't mean that you have as many brain cells as myself and the people tuning in right now. We see right through that. You're trying to get a little bit of a bigger payday so you could re-sign with AEW, and you're a little bit pissed off that CM Punk called out the EVPs and some of your buddies. That's what it seems like. Yes, you could kick my ass. I'm not in anybody's basement. I'm just giving an opinion. I'm not trying to call him out. I'm just giving an opinion. My opinion is you, sir, sound like the whiny cunt. Robert Anthony Fish. No, that's Cressman in the chat, by the way. All right. So with that said, you have any quick questions that doesn't require too many brain cells being used, you could post it in the chat. I'll answer about 5-10 minutes of it. We're going to get out of here because I got to get this shit online. I got to pop myself an Ambien. Remember, I have to make sure the Ambien wears off before I pop a Xanax. You don't want me to become no, we're not going to use any pro wrestler names. So, I almost forgot. We got a couple of shout outs along the way. Big Sal with a 20 spot. A little coffee for you and the wife at the airport. I will be having some coffee. Thank you very much, Sal, for that. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Brian Becerra with a 20 spot. A little something for vacation. Have a great time. Thank you very much for that as well. I really appreciate it, Brian. I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely have a lot of footage for everyone that actually care. And we'll see what happens with NXT. Rojo Bear, he wants Muscle Man Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is stronger than people realize. And I think he'll always have that excess pounds, to say it nicely. He'll always be husky. And I don't mean Harris. I don't want to see a jacked up Bray Wyatt. Even when remember when the Sandman came back to ECW in 2000, I think it was, whatever year it was, and he was jacked. It just didn't feel the same. It's you're not supposed to be jacked. You're supposed to have a beer body. Devon. Remember when Devon, at that time in TNA, where it looked like his eyeballs had muscles? It didn't, I don't know, there was something about it. I was I don't want to see Bray Wyatt muscled up like that. Good condition, obviously, but yeah, I don't want to see muscled up Bray Wyatt, but I just want to see Bray Wyatt. Yeah, Benjamin. No. I don't think he means the muscle man gimmick when he was doing the dance. That was aerobics. That was not really muscles. That was dancing aerobics, working up a sweat, like Richard Simmons stuff. That wasn't real muscle, deep muscle. So Sam says, I'm a man of many hats tonight. I don't want to accuse who took enhancements, if we say it nicely, but some people came back jacked in wrestling, and I was like, especially Sandman. I was like, if he got himself, got into the fitness bug, because I think at some point we've all had that. All right, cool. But it didn't feel that way. It just felt like, I don't know, it just didn't look right though. And he did ultimately get some of the beer body back. So Braun, VJ, Braun, from what I was told from someone that worked with Braun, carnivore, 1 meal a day, eliminated carbs, eliminated grains. That's why Braun got as cut as he did. Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, same thing. Carnivore, 1 meal a day, no carbs, not even a grape. That is how they got, ripped the way they were. So that's the reason why Braun is, you see the condition he's in. I could, get more info for you, but I already talked to someone about it. I talked to someone about 3 weeks ago when we were talking about, WWE was interested in bringing Braun back. That was before anybody claimed it as breaking news. Braun eliminated carbs. That's how he got as ripped as he did. So there's a lot of guys that were in Control Your Narrative that were all the same 1 meal a day thing. And believe me, when it comes to like eating and lifestyle and health, you do circle yourself around similar people and you do talk to each other. You do help each other. So just sports. Is Bobby Lashley too big of a talent for the U.S. title? Does it take WWE World Heavyweight title seriously? Make superstars? No. Right now, Bobby Lashley is in the same situation as everybody else not named Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes is still on the road to recovery. Bobby Lashley, we want to see him having a heavyweight title. But right now is a bigger picture. I saw a stupid news report in the last day. I'm sure some of you saw it that, the real reason why Drew McIntyre lost at Clash at the Castle, WWE wants to put Roman Reigns in legendary status, and that's why they kept the belt going. You remember like 4 or 5 months ago, I gave you a list of like 7 wrestlers. It's in a synopsis, and I said that WWE is going to make him defeat all of them to become legendary status. That's not news. I mean, we all know they're trying to make Roman Reigns the greatest of this generation outside of John Cena. So because of that, there is no options for a Bobby Lashley or an AJ Styles or a Seth Rollins and a Drew McIntyre and others. There is no other world title. So giving these vignettes and making Bobby Lashley main event so many Raws. Do you realize how many Raws Bobby Lashley's main evented in the last couple of months? More than you realize. WWE is elevating the title to make it more important for Bobby Lashley. I have no problem with Bobby Lashley as the United States champion right now. Look at the Intercontinental Championship. No way do you take that title off of Gunther anytime soon. Gunther, you feel there's a huge respect with him looking to that title. That's what you want. You want to feel that respect, and Bobby Lashley has that respect. So, no, I'm fine with it. Marquez, who is the guy that's going to take the top spot in WWE now that Reigns is part-time? Roman Reigns has been part-time for quite some time. There is nobody to take this. What is that? I'm not trying to disrespect you. What does that even mean? I know what you're trying to say. There's a lot of people in the podcasting world that tried to paint this narrative that, Roman's part-time. Who's going to step up and be the leader? That's why those people don't have big executive important jobs, because you can't look at it like that. It's a whole team effort. You look at Roman Reigns, WWE is the hottest it's been. And don't say because Vince stepped down. WWE now is much more entertaining because of the writing. It's not because of Roman being at the top or being, part-time. You have multiple storylines all going look at Gunther and Sheamus, match of the year candidate. Riddle versus Rollins. I'm going to fuck you up. You get 4 or 5 big storylines together. It doesn't matter. David Arquette could be at the top right now. That's kind of exaggerating it. Don't look at it as who's going to be the leader, because you can have the biggest name. I just backed into this. You could have the biggest name leading your company. And at the end of the day, you realize just having a big name is not what makes the company. Look at certain promotion over the last couple of weeks. You see what I'm talking about. Guardian of Chaos. Where can you purchase an I'm a Don Tony guide tee? I can tell you where you can get it. Just DM me your shipping address and I'll get you one. Just send me your shirt size and your shipping address and I'll get you out one. Absolutely. Cress is asking, is Sami in the Bloodline come Survivor Series? No. Sami will be long gone. Sami will realign with Kevin Owens and they will go after the Usos. Probably won't happen until after Extreme Rules. But Sami Zayn, he'll be out of the Bloodline way before that. Way before that. So, Bryant purchased DT merchandise from Spring. Yeah, it's right under all the shows, every episode on YouTube. But no, DM me your shipping address and your shirt size. I'll hook you up. It's the least I can do. Austin Nance, that goes for you also. Because I know Austin right now is like, but I moderate too. It's more than moderate. These are friends of the family, so shout out. Shout out to everybody who was in the watch parties tonight. I am really, really sorry. No bullshit, no excuse. This computer, if I had the watch party going here, then I would have had to disconnect the watch party when I went live. And I know a lot of you were tuning into Rampage tonight. So I had the watch party going in my other computer that has no webcam, has no sound card. I have no speakers over there, especially when I watch my porn. Just joking. Yeah, so the watch party tonight could only connect, but I left it on. So that's why. Yeah, went fast this year. We're already 9 months into the year. This freaking year went fast, man. Nah, Chaos, man. Now you pissed me off, man. I wanted to give you something. Now I got to send you 2 shirts. Seriously, thank you very much for that. You did not have to do that, but, you know, he sent the 20 spot. Thank you. I appreciate it very much, my friend. Now I got to send you a whole gift thing. So give me a shipping address. So, you know what? I'll send you a couple of my wedding favors too. The shot glasses. So even if, you know, I don't know if you have alcohol, even if you don't, put orange juice in it. Take a shot of orange juice. So I got some coming to KD as well. So KD, you got some on your way too. DJ is asking if you go total carnivore, what are some of the potential health concerns? DJ, I'd be given bad advice if I was given health advice with that. What I will say is, I will say this. I was on keto for 3 years. Okay. I went off it because of my wedding, because I know I was going to be eating shit that I shouldn't. One of the first things I'm eating in Disney tomorrow is Mickey Mouse pretzels and Dole Whips and shit like that. And you can't do that on keto. So I went off keto a month ago so my body would get used to eating normal again. I can honestly say I have lost 2 pounds since being off keto. I think your body needs a little bit of sugar, maybe from fruit. You know, I think a little bit is necessary, but when you go total carnivore and have none whatsoever, your body makes ketones. And I don't know if your body if it's normal to make ketones when it's in a state of ketosis. But I will say this, no joke, I will be going back on keto, because one of the things, if you have a lot of inflammation, this goes out to everyone out there. You get a lot of pain, a lot of inflammation. You eat, and after you eat, you're like, why do my ankles hurt? Why do my knuckles hurt? Believe it or not, that could be from soybean oil, canola oil, could be from mayonnaise. You'd be surprised. Some of those processed foods also, and the oils, they cause tremendous inflammation. And that was one of the things that when I went on keto, that disappeared for me. When I went off keto, one of the first things that I was like, why the fuck my knuckles hurt? And I did some research, and, you know, so that's one of the good things. Your inflammation goes away. You really feel good. So I'm not going to have too much pie. I'm not a pie eater. I like starch. Give me a bucket of French fries. They got to be crispy, though. I don't like those French fries that you could actually like squish them with your hands and make like a snowball out of them. I need crunchy fries. Give me a bucket of them and I'll all night long. Chinese food, I've talked about it before. When I used to order Chinese food, I don't order mugu gai pan or whatever shit like that. I order fried wontons. I order crab rangoons. I order French fries because for some reason, Chinese restaurants make the greatest French fries in the world next to McDonald's. What else do I get? I get egg rolls. You know, I get sweet and sour chicken. I don't even dip it into that red pineapple sauce. I just, anything battered and fried. And I look in front of me and it looks like an orgy of cholesterol. Yeah, that was the first thing I ate when I went off my keto. I had McDonald's French fries. The headache I had was when I got off keto, the headache was killer. Never had deep fried Mars bars. Nope. So, by the way, we're going to get out of here in 3 minutes because we're at 71 minutes. I think 75 is good for tonight. Right now it's 11:16. I hope to be out cold by 12:30. Get 4.5 hours sleep, which would be fabulous for me. Hopefully this motherfucker Uber shows up at my house at 6 a.m. So, no need to tune in for Rampage. Just one question for everybody who watched Rampage. Did we get Claudia versus Dax as the main event instead of Sammy versus Darby? And did Darby win? Because remember my predictions the other day? I had Darby advancing and Danielson advancing. Okay, so yes, Dax tapped and Sammy won? No shit. Wow. I'm surprised, man. You know, I know Sammy's getting a lot of heat online, but I think we all realize Sammy is probably one of Tony Khan's biggest favorites in that company. I'm very, very surprised. I thought, you know, seeing Darby and Moxley would be more enticing than Moxley versus Sammy. But who am I? You know, look at Sammy's style and look at Moxley's. I don't know, for me, it feels like they're going to clash a little bit too much. KD, thank you, my friend, for the 20 spot. As much as I appreciate that, and you don't have to, all I ask is for two things. He hopes Giovanni Vinci never loses his name because he wants to hear that. And also, let's shake it up. Oh, yeah. Shake it up. Let's shake it up. Draft is happening, everyone. The draft is happening. Probably it'll happen in October. Could it go into November? It's possible. Listen. Yo, listen. I could see the draft being held off until after WrestleMania. I think that is still a possibility. But WWE is going to do a draft. They absolutely are. Right now, it might be good that they don't because you really don't have a GM on both sides. I think that's one of the things that Triple H will bring back. I think we will have GMs for Raw and SmackDown. I think we want, you know, someone to want to draft someone to Raw or draft someone to SmackDown. And that will happen in time. But, you know, I think sooner or later, and you know what? I was going to say this earlier today, and social media, I know, would have gotten 5 likes. No one is going to pop for it. I think WWE needs to put Vince McMahon in the intro. You know, when they open the credits, woo, if you smell, blah, 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 then, now, forever, together. I think we need to see Vince McMahon in somewhere in those graphics. I know we see Vince Sr. Maybe we do have Vince Jr. Maybe I just didn't notice it. If Vince is not in the opening graphics, Vince needs to be in the opening graphics. I think he needs it. He needs to. And Giovanni Vinci, man, you know, look, I've always sung the praise for Marcel Barthel. Imperium concerned me 2 years ago because they just did not connect with the fans. When we started seeing Imperium as tag champs, that all changed. But we should never forget that Giovanni Vinci was Marcel Barthel. Marcel Barthel is fucking awesome. Giovanni Vinci, they had him coming out looking like Cesaro, smiling awkwardly for the camera, you know, having some way too deep. I'm sorry, my women, I like them to sound a little bit more high-pitched. Not like dumb blondes, like, hey, I just had a banana. No, I like the woman that, no disrespect, but the woman that commentated the hype of Giovanni Vinci, I don't know. It sounded too deep, in my opinion. Giovanni Vinci. I can't even do it. I think my voice is higher than hers. It was a strange voice. They wanted it European. That's why they did that. But it just never clicked. But seeing him back in Imperium, that's cool. That is very cool. So, yeah. And I'll leave you all with this. I still think WWE made a huge mistake with Gigi Dolan. Now, for anybody who's new, right now you're probably saying to me, are you fucking stupid? How could you dare? No, I'm not talking about her look, her character, her push. I'm talking about the name. You look at Gigi Dolan. She looks French. She looks European. Like if you ever watched like 90s softcore porn, it's not even porn, 90s softcore that you don't see it. Like, what's that channel? What's the channel that used to have late night? Like it was just soft. It was just a little, what's the name of that channel? Like she looks like somebody who would be on like a French late night movie. No hardcore. I'm not saying hardcore, but her name should have been Gigi Dolan. Cinemax? Maybe Cinemax. Yeah, you're right. It is, Phil. Cinemax. Spice was more raunchy. Cinemax. Like Gigi Dolan looks like some French girl that came in for like, oh, look, we have home study. Is that foreign exchange? Look, Amy, we have a foreign exchange student. We're going to send Raphael to France. And we got Gigi. And she's going to be staying with us for a little while. And she comes in. And she's got the rose in her mouth and she's wearing a leather hat. And she's like, yeah, I'm here to learn English, United States, Yankees. And then, Cinemax, the deal. She should have been Gigi Dolan. French. She looks it. Not Gigi. Gigi. Gigi Dolan. I'm Gigi Dolan. That's what it should have been. Gigi Dolan just sounds Irish. And I'm not against Irish. Just sounds Irish. And I'm in Howard Beach, Queens, home of the mob, the mafia, true mafia, not this stuff you see on TV. Yeah, we got to take him down. Let's do a sit down. Yeah, the final encounter, the final chapter. No, whack the motherfucker. So I come from here. Somebody says, give me a half a pound of prosciutto. Give me half a pound of ham gabagool. Not capicola, not prosciutto ham, manicotti. I want to fucking kick an animal every time I hear somebody say, can I have some manicotti? Do you have any frozen manicotti? I want to punch someone in the face every time I hear, no, it's manigot. Manigot, not manigotti. Manigot. Manigot. So you say, is there any Gigi Dolan? Gigi Dolan? No, I want some Gigi Dolan. Tony D'Angelo is playing a character. That's why I can't call him cardboard. You call someone a cardboard gangster when they're in real life, they're trying to be a gangster when they're not. Trust me, I've encountered a lot of cardboard over the years. You could spot them a mile away. You walk into a coffee shop or you walk into a bar and you're like, cardboard, real, don't fuck with him, cardboard. You could spot cardboard. Tony D'Angelo's playing a character, and he's not doing a bad job. The WWE writing is a little bit hokey. It's not his fault. I think, the way he presents it is very good. And yeah, Tony, if you're watching this, I'm kissing your ass because I want you to shake my fucking hand Tuesday. I got 4 shots. I don't stick my hands up people's asses. I'm clean. I'm sanitized. Have an espresso, motherfucker. And I don't take no for an answer. We'll see. All right, everyone. I'm out of here. Much love. Sorry that the shows will be light for the next week. Listen, I'll be honest with you. right now, if you look at my schedule, the next show for me will be on Monday, September 19th, right after Raw. I am returning back to New York Sunday, the 18th, at around 4 p.m. If we don't have jet lag, if I'm not a zombie from taking Valiums, maybe we'll do a sit-down episode Sunday night, the 18th. I will let you all know as the week goes by. If any of you are in Florida and you're around Disney, next Friday I will be at the Halloween party. So maybe if you happen to see me, don't be a stranger. And if anybody that's going to NXT, I hope to see you all on Tuesday. It's going to be a good show. I hope everybody has a great week. Much love as always. If you enjoyed tonight's show, if you could be so kind, what could we do? Why do I draw blanks when we come up here? Do a phenomenal forearm on that like button. Forearm that fucking like button. Hit that like button with the phenomenal forearm. And if you know anyone out there that might like this channel, that want a little bit of straight up discussion, even though it might be a little bit boring and unsexy at times, but at least you know it's the truth, let them know. Maybe they'll like it. You never know. So I love you all. I really mean that. I appreciate everything that you do. I thank you all for the support. I thank you all for the kind words. And I repeat this 1,000 times over. When you say to me, DT, you help me get an escape from my everyday bullshit, believe me, it's very reciprocal. Doing this is very, very beneficial for me as well. And you make it all that much more fun. It's been an awesome 2022 so far. And we still got 3+ months to go. So be well, everybody. Stay safe. Take care.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me.
Hold on.
Right after.
Now, I always say when Ray gets the shit knocked out of him, it always looks like he's smiling. Yeah, if you're still looking at the video, look at the fucking screen. That's what I'm talking about. Every time Ray is getting his ass kicked, I'm like, you shouldn't look like you're smiling. He looks like he farted. He's like, hey, I just farted. Could you smell it? Could you smell it? He's always fucking smiling when he's get his ass kicked. That's why I don't have sympathy when shit happens to him. He had his eyeball ripped out, and he looked like that he was smiling from ear to ear. He's got nice teeth, though.
After I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.